Holland Club Induction Ceremony. The Holland Club is a special group of members of the United States Submarine Veterans, who have been designated qualified in submarines by the United States Navy, for 50 or more years. Before we proceed with the induction of our shipmate into the Holland Club, allow me to explain the requirements for induction. A candidate must be a life member, in good standing, of the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated, or an annual dues-paying member in good standing for 5 years. The candidate must make a formal request to be inducted into the Holland Club. Shipmate Ron Jones has met these requirements. The men of the Holland Club can best be described in these 10 words: pride, past, present, patriotism, honor, duty, commitment, professionalism, courage and leadership. Pride. Pride in the title Submariner. They dared to do what others feared and went where others dared not. Pride in whom, and what they were, and are today. Pride in whom, and what they represent today, the United States Submarine Veterans, and pride in the silver or gold dolphins on their chests. Past. For all they achieved as members of the United States Submarine Force, the Silent Service, and now as members of the United States Submarine Veterans. Present. Continuing to recognize and honor our submarine traditions as members of the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated, fulfilling our creed to honor the memory of our lost shipmates. Patriotism, the unwavering love for their country and pride in having served it. Honor, their feeling of self-pride for having done what is right and respecting others who have shown us how. Duty, doing their job, constantly striving to do the best they could for themselves, and most of all, for their fellow shipmates, by supporting them and the United States Submarine Veterans Incorporated. Commitment, keeping their word not because they had to, but because they chose to and their shipmates knowing it, being an active part of the crew. Professionalism, always doing their job to the best of their ability. Each and every member of a submarine crew depends upon his shipmates to do it right and do it right the first time. Courage, that special quality that allows them to dare to do and go where other men feared, and the desire to be called shipmate by men of that caliber. Leadership, the ability and qualities they displayed as they served their active duty tours, and continued to display as a member of the United States Submarine Veterans community. During the ceremony, Ron Jones will receive the Holland Club certificate, membership card, Holland Club challenge coin, and the Holland Club patch.
The question was asked a minute ago, Ron, if we're going to throw you over the side when the ceremony is done. The ocean's over there about a quarter of a mile.
If you guys can carry me that far, I'll let you do it.
Well, you notice the age among the crowd here? We probably won't do this today. I'll tell you what, Ron, would you step up here? For the benefit of your family, qualification in submarines is a big deal. It's a tough thing to do. It takes months and months of effort, during which a person gets very little sleep because they also have to stand watch. They have to qualify for their watches. And for somebody who's nuclear trained, that's a tough thing to do in its own right. You get almost no recreational time because you're either sleeping, studying, or working. And that lasts until you get qualified. On a fast attack, that could take as much as 4 months, well, a year for you, but typically qualification took about 4 to 8 months, and that was continuous effort. The reason qualification in submarines is such a big deal is because everybody in a submarine can be killed by a mistake. It isn't just the person who makes the mistake who's going to go. Everybody goes with him. It reached a point where we began to trust each other because we had all been through the same qualification process. That way, if an emergency occurred, you knew that the people who were close to the emergency were going to do the right things in the right order. And that was because of the qualification process. So although we make jokes about our age and infirmities and our mental capacity, all of us have a tremendous respect for one another because of the qualification process. So what we have an opportunity to do today is to congratulate Ronald Jones on having qualified in submarines 50 years ago this year. I want to read the certificate that's on here. It's welcome aboard, shipmate. I'm pleased to present your Holland Club certificate, patch, coin, and membership card, presented on this special occasion in recognition of your 50 years or more of submarine qualification and service to our country. National Commander William Andrea, Holland Club Chairman Jim Irwin, and your shipmates take great pleasure in welcoming you as a member of the Holland Club. Ron?
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you. Are you able to get that? Okay. Along with that is a challenge coin, which ironically never gets passed around for some reason. Partly because it's almost irreplaceable.
Right.
This is for the patches, the vests that you see some of our guys wearing. And this is a card that will get you a cup at Starbucks for $4.50.
Thank you again.
Ron, we appreciate you joining us and all of the help that you've given us in finding a new place for the base to meet.
Here's my pleasure. I just want to say that when Dave told me I was qualified for a Holland Club, for some reason I don't think back to this time as being 50 years ago. And I don't like to necessarily be reminded that it was 50 years ago. But to realize that, we make joke that, well, you live long enough, you'll join the Holland Club. But to be honored at this location.
Yeah. And the point that Ron just brought up there is this is a memorial to commemorate the 52 submarines that were lost in combat in World War II. There were 3,505 lives lost on those 52 submarines, and another 103 lost on other submarines that were not sunk. And then over here we have two monuments to nuclear submarines lost in the 1960s, the Thresher with 129 souls and the Scorpion with 99 souls. All of these folks had done dangerous work, just like Ron and the rest of us. And it is appropriate to present a Holland Club membership in a place like this. We thank you for joining us, especially his family. And for those of you who normally come to meetings but don't get to see this, it's a rare event, and thank you for being here.